So we have John Sims here, who is maybe just one of the best testimonials we've ever had. But before that, John, I just wanted to tell you, we have Shantanu. You remember Shantanu? You remember he got that job offer the same day you did?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, check this out. You aren't going to believe this. I don't know if you've been watching Slack. It came in at 185. We negotiated to 226, right?
Yeah.
John, did you see the job offer he just got in?
I didn't. Not yet.
$250,000.
Wow.
$50,000 sign-on bonus with paid in 2 installments and another like 25% bonus on his salary. And Jamie, remember when we were waiting on that offer from Bank of America?
Uh-huh.
It came in, he was kind of upset, man. It came in at 170, but we thought it was going to be a lot longer. So Jamie, he was like, we were like, hey, we're going to negotiate it. So we wrote, we did what we did, and we basically professionally asked for 200. And then that was on Friday. Tuesday rolls around, you know how everything's going on. He's like, Tim, I'm not sure, man. I should just accept it. I was like, Jamie, be patient. It just came in literally at noon today for $200K. They gave him the full asking amount.
Wow.
So I know this may be the last time we talk, man. So I just wanted to let you know, like, just right after you, great things have been happening.
Man, that's awesome. It almost makes mine sound kind of like it's
man, yours was awesome, man. Yours was so awesome. And that's one of the things before we go into this, and I talked about this before. For someone who watches this, right? Like they're probably thinking about working with us, right? Mm-hmm. I've had people watch some of these testimonials and say, like, I think I told you this, right? Like, they'll watch 10 of them and say, man, this might be a scam. I don't know about this whole internet thing, man. So before we get started, what would you say, man, based on the experience you had, right? Like the increase you had, the changes you've had, the group. Before we ask any questions, man, what would you say to that?
So, because I contacted you and I asked, hey, are there any testimonial videos? Yeah. And when you told me, well, as a matter of fact, I do. And I said, no, wait a minute. Are these things scripted? Mm-hmm. I've seen some of these before and I wonder. And you told me they were pretty raw. And just how we started this, you said, hey, we're not going to script anything. I want to hear exactly what you have to say. So, to answer your question, man, this program has not only kind of given me it's rejuvenated me, right? Was very depressed when I started, was getting the customary, hey, we're going to look at other candidates that are more qualified for your position, knowing that I'm very qualified, right? And so I did come into it skeptical. But my advice to anybody who is planning on joining your program is, man, go for it, because the system absolutely does work.
And just so they know, before we were working together, I know your story, Karen knows your story, right? Like, where were you, man? Right?
So I was working in a very small company, okay, of 4 people. I made just a little bit more money than I had.
We can tell people, man, we can tell people about money. He was making $120K working for a small organization. But what was going on there?
So if you remember, I got to point this out for your folks. Yeah. Okay. So I was making 120, was miserable. Mm-hmm. And when I filled out your questionnaire, and one of the questions on there was, how much do you want to make? And my answer was 115. And you're like, why would you want to make less money? And it's because of the mindset I had, because I had been applying for all these different positions. And I'm like, man, maybe I'm just not worth that much. And so you said, hey, I really need to help this guy.
Yeah. And then, just so people know, right, what actually happened was, prior to that, John came from a very large he's a healthcare executive, right? Yeah. Which we'll talk about. He actually came from a company he worked at for 20 years and left that company to try to make a little more money because he couldn't get promoted. He went and made 120. He found out, man, he couldn't do that job anymore. And if you guys are watching this, I'm sure you may or may not have been in that situation before, right? And he actually chose after much deliberation, right?
Right.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to go back to this job and essentially take a 20K pay cut, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, so that's where you were. And then Kara has a couple questions for you too.
Yeah.
Sure.
So this is like a crazy journey that you're on. At what point did you say, you know, I need a little help. I need someone to come in and kind of guide me. Where were you at? What point were you at?
So, you know, after I had gone, you know, it wasn't like I didn't get any responses.
Mm-hmm.
I did get responses, but they were for jobs that I really didn't want to work with, and the salary was less than what I was asking. So, as I said, I was very depressed because I felt like I had worked all this time and gained all this experience in healthcare, and yet nobody was recognizing that. No, and so what I found out from working with in this program was that, you know what, most of the time, if you're waiting on HR or even a recruiter in some instances to give you that shot, man, they've already got somebody in line for that position already. And so it's only through connections, and in this course, LinkedIn, that you're really able to get some of those higher level positions that you're qualified to do. It's not that you're not qualified to do it. You're very qualified. You just got to get in front of a hiring manager, somebody who can actually hire you. And so, lots of depression, lots of you know, looking at myself and saying, what am I really worth here? What have I done for 21 years? And just feeling really, really low, you know?
Yeah. I mean, so there's a lot of things that you mentioned there. Not only was it mindset stuff, right? You were kind of going through the traditional channels of the job search that just wasn't working anymore. So in your words, how did we help you? Really, what was that stuff that you really gained?
Well, so what really helped was, you know, you have the group calls, and so it's helpful, it's inspiring. I hate to say misery loves company, but it's like there's a lot of other people that are struggling with the exact same thing that you are, and so knowing that there's a commonality there kind of helps. And then going through the program, going through the, you know, the interview videos and the LinkedIn videos and making your list really helped. You guys kind of rejuvenated me and gave me some confidence. I don't know if y'all realize that, but watching you guys when you lead these meetings, I mean, it makes you feel like, hey, I can do this. I have the confidence and the experience to do this. So thank y'all for that.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that, because I talked to you're a senior executive. And I talk to other people, and I say, hey, we have a group coaching program. We help you out unlimited one-on-one until you get the job, right? We have a group coaching model where we basically come and show how people are winning. And I've had some people say, I'm not going to get around and do no kumbaya. And I'm like, well, John, what you've been doing for the past 6 months has not been working, man. So maybe you're open to try like different things. And for, you know, if anyone's wondering where John was, he joined January 6th of 2020, and on March 8th of 2020, he accepted a position, and we haven't even talked about it yet, but so he was at 120, remember, as we talked about. He quit that job, went back to his old role he wasn't really happy about. He was making 103 then, and he accepted a position at the University of Texas as a director level position for $175,000. And I just have to point out, actually, we practice salary negotiations. We're not going to go into it too much, but John was called and they said, hey, John, where do you need to be at? And I remember John about to say 140, but because of just the prep we do, he said something different. And I mean, that's a lot of money, man.
And what I said was, what is the range for a position like that?
Exactly.
And what I was told during that conversation was 155, 160. And I stayed quiet. And then when I got the call when the actual position was offered to me, it was 175. And I got to be honest, at that point, I'm trying to think stoically, how do I say, yes, that's great. I can live with that,
Exactly.
But yeah, very, very pleased. I did not think in a million years that I would have landed a salary or a position for that matter of this magnitude. So I'm really excited about it.
Excellent, man.
Nervous.
Here's the deal. When you look good, it's not just about one thing. That's what people think. Mm-hmm. When you look good on paper, on a profile, and you connect to people and you leverage relationships and you know what to say during an interview and you know what to say with money and all of these things, then it makes up a big difference. And then Kara, we'll move into the last one, the last two questions.
Yeah, I mean, we're so excited for you that you landed this job, man. But tell us, what did you find the most valuable in this program to you?
One thing.
You say one thing?
What's the one thing that was the most valuable to you?
The emphasis on relationships and connections was the one thing. And Tim, I got to tell you, I think probably people know that, but I don't think that they really know how to go about it strategically to be able to land a position like this.
Because I love sharing this. You know why? Check this out, everyone. Okay. Everyone always comes to me and say, Tim, I've contacted my network. No one can help me. John got a position. Hey, people find positions different ways. They always get offers different ways. John had a relationship with someone at that department that we were able to leverage, who without working together would have just completely not even thought of. And sometimes it's literally stuff right in front of your face that can help you like make these massive increases. So the last question, and then we'll wrap up, which you pretty much already said. We ask people who stick on the testimonial this long and they're watching it. We say, hey, what advice would you have for somebody? But you already answered that in the beginning. You're like, man, if you think you need help, you probably do, and just do it. And Shantanu's wife, you know what the funniest thing was? After he got that massive offer in, he was actually complaining, John, saying, why are you always meeting with Tim? You're meeting with Tim all the time. You're on all these group calls. Now, mind you, after he got this offer, she literally said, I'm calling all my friends to tell them that if they need a new job, they need to come to you guys. Me and Kara were just cracking up last night, man. So, hey, in closing, man, like, I just got chills, man. Like, I am so happy for you. I am so happy for your family. And just know that me and Kara and Kristina, we will always be here to support you, right? If you ever have any questions about anything, and we wish you the best of luck.
I cannot tell all of you how much I appreciate y'all. I really, really do. I do want to say something offline if I could.
Sure. So we're going to pause the recording, and thanks so much.